What is going on, you animals? Thanks so much for the click. This is the Intelligently Resigned show. I am your host, Adrian, podcasting to you from the nether regions of the Intertron, more specifically, beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii, and even more specifically, Hawaii Kai on the south shore of Oahu, here at the lovely condominium of one of the Koreans, my friend Sunny. Thanks so much, Sunny, for being on the show. I really appreciate it. How you doing tonight?
Doing good, thank you.
Right on. You know, Sunny, one of the things I really love about living in Hawaii is getting to hang out with all the different Asians and eat their food, you know? And a couple of weeks ago, you know, we came over. You invited us over for some bibimbap,
Yes.
right? Mm-hmm. And we drank some shoju. What's it called?
Soju.
Yes. And that's good, like decent booze that gets you drunk, you know? So we loved it. It was great.
That's a poor man's drink.
What is it?
Korea.
Rice? Is it from rice?
I'm not really sure, but that's like the lowest quality. Yeah, but then for the quantity, it's for poor people, it's the quantity over quality. Yeah, and it gets you to drink, and people usually drink from the morning.
Oh, no way! Yeah,
the depressed people.
Yeah,
They're
all around the world, huh?
Yeah,
very cool. Well, just so you know, Sunny, I am a friend of the Korean community. Okay. My friend in elementary school, Wilson Park, he was Korean. Okay. Well, I mean, he was like American of Korean descent, you know, like I thought he looked a little bit funny, you know, but we were very much a part of American culture, you know.
Yep.
So, but he was the one that explained to me in like 6th grade that not all Asians are the same. As far as I was concerned, they were all Chinese, you know?
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
But you're Korean and you're from Korea, right?
Yes.
So you're like Korean.
Korean.
Yeah, all right.
Yellow inside, yellow outside.
Okay, I'm glad you said it. Okay. So, Sunny, the reason that I wanted to share you with my audience was not only that you're Korean, or that you used to be a born-again Christian, which we will talk about a little bit, but it's also that you have been to North Korea. Do you admit to all three of those?
Yes.
Very cool. So we will get to the North Korea thing, you know, but first let's get to know a little bit about the Sunny, like how old you are and where you were born and raised.
Okay, so...
in that order, please.
I'm 40 in Korean. But I'm 38 in America.
Okay, that's going to need a little explanation.
Yeah. It sucks. I just went to Korea and they were like...
Is that because of the time zone thing?
No, it's just how they count age.
No shit.
In Korea, the moment you're born, you're already 1 year old. So if you were born in December 31st, you're 1 year old. And then January 1st, everybody becomes 1 year older.
No way.
Yeah, so then like the person who were born in December 31st, the following day, the person will be two.
No way.
Yeah. So everybody knows what year you're born.
Oh,
yeah. So
such a functional people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very efficient. Yeah, so I'm 40 in Korea and 38 in America.
Get out of here.
Yep.
So so what year were you born?
76.
What is that the year of? Do you guys do that?
Dragon.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a badass one.
Yeah, the best one.
Yeah, I think I'm like the goat or something.
Yeah. You're a goat?
Yeah, 1979.
Oh, the sheep.
Oh, even worse.
or they say ram. Just
there you go. That's what I'm going to call it then now is the ram. Yeah, okay.
Lamb.
Yeah, no, ram.
Okay. And I was born in Suwon. It's a kind of countryside, about 45 minutes south of Seoul. And I was raised there until I was 14. And my parents wanted to send me and my sister to America, where at the time in 1990, they wanted to send us to America, the country that shakes the whole world. So they wanted us to be educated here.
Oh, very cool.
Yep.
In Hawaii?
No, in California. We went to Orange County in California, Fullerton, and we were there for about 4 years. We went to live with our uncle and aunt, and their 2 kids for 4 years, and then we moved out to go to college. So I was in Davis, California for, I don't know, about 6 years. I graduated there, and I got a job for a year, and then I got a job in Hawaii in 2002. So I moved here.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
And then, so have your parents ever lived in the
No.
United States?
No, so we were foreign students.
Had you learned English before you moved out here?
So we learn from junior high school. So 8th grade, we learn English, but it's just kind of grammar type. So we never really had a conversation, no, like English class. And because we knew that we were coming to America, they hired a Caucasian guy. His name was James.
Yeah.
The first time that I actually like was close to a Caucasian.
A
with
round
blue
eye.
eyes. Yeah. So, yeah, I got to talk to him or got to like look at him with beautiful eyes for like maybe 2 months, like every week, once a week before I came here.
Was James a good-looking guy?
Yeah,
and
he
you
was
were
very handsome.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
were attracted to him as a young girl.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
So I don't really remember English. It was just like, yeah, it's like, it was just so weird. Like the eyes were like sunken in, right? Because ours is kind of flat. Yeah, so it was just like, I was just fascinated by how different he looked.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then what do you do for a living out here now?
I'm a consultant for statistical and computer like services. Yeah. So I'm a statistician and programmer.
So you're a Korean who does math for a living.
Yes.
This stuff just writes itself.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to touch that.
It's a
okay?
definition. Yeah.
I love that, stereotypes are actually very complicated and nuanced things. But, sometimes they work out and you seem to be doing pretty good for yourself. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Now I know why Asians really focus on math. It's so that you can get paid to do it and have a nice condominium.
Right. That's right.
Good shit.
Well, we don't speak English that well, so we don't really have a choice. I mean, my personal life, my personal story is that I didn't have a choice. Otherwise, I would have done social science.
Oh, really? Yeah. And then I know that you are married to my friend Justin, because I was lucky to make the cut to get to go to your beautiful wedding.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's where I did meet your parents, and they didn't speak English, but it was still nice meeting them. We still got to drink soju with them.
Yep.
And, Justin, your husband, he's more of like an acquaintance of mine, but I don't really see what you see in him, but congratulations. And what year were you married?
We were married in 20... Oh,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
2012. Was it?
Was it?
Was it 2011?
In Korea, what year was it?
I don't know. 20,
Oh, this is great. Not only guys forget.
2012.
Do you want to do how long have you been married? Do you know how many years you've been married?
I don't know.
Jesus.
I have a really bad memory.
What does it feel like? How many years does it feel like?
I feel like we are still newly married.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, there
yeah.
you go. I think you
Thank
just
you.
made up for it. It was before my son was born, so it was at least 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
At least.
Oh, no. Ruben was a baby.
Did we bring Ruben to your wedding? Sorry
No,
about
but
that.
you had a...
A babysitter.
Babysitter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he was like
2012?
probably.
Yeah, okay, 2012.
I forget what year he was born.
Okay.
And then your husband Justin, he's what people call ginger. Sometimes people use it affectionately, but sometimes people use it as a derogatory term. But he's
I heard.
he's freckly and red.
Yeah.
He's the color orange.
Yep.
So does he have the freckles everywhere?
Not in his butt.
Really?
Yeah, it's
not
like,
just.
yeah, it's like very white and like, yeah, it's actually really nice.
Really?
Yeah,
He's in
I
good
was
shape.
Really surprised. Yeah, yeah, no freckles.
So that doesn't creep you out?
The freckles?
Mm-hmm.
What would creep me out is ginger Asian. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Was please have kids, because I can't wait to see what pops out of you.
Have you seen like the signs, like the stop sign or the no sign says no ginger Asian? Yeah.
You have that sign?
No, but there are like kind of creepy pictures of ginger Asians on the internet. So
They exist?
yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens. Are you guys hoping to have kids?
We're half. Because we're pretty comfortable with our lives and with our dog and I don't know. But by the way, did you know? I don't know if you know, but you're kind of the person who made it happen.
I hooked you guys up?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I totally forgot about that. That I'm totally responsible for your marriage.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, great. You're welcome, and I'm sorry.
Okay.
And then you do something out here for fun that's pretty interesting. Tell us what that is.
Yeah, I play roller derby. It's a really fun sports because, I mean, people say, oh, it empowers women. But for me, I mean, like, I don't really care about those. But it's like, it's a really fun sports, and you can be aggressive. But I'm not like there to like hurt someone. I don't think about, oh, I don't like this person, I'm gonna like, beat the shit out of the person. But it's like, you can be aggressive and they don't get mad at me. Yeah. And then it's all sports. And I don't want them to get hurt. They don't want me to get hurt.
Yeah.
And within that boundary, we get like very aggressive.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So derby, roller derby is not just for overweight rockabilly lesbians. Like they let you do it too?
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of lesbian people, and they try to like convince me to go to that side.
To be lesbian?
Yeah. They say it's a lot better. Yeah, once you go there, then you won't come back.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, they need a better rhyme scheme like that black people have,
Yep.
But you do still get a cool nickname that you get to give yourself, right?
Yep.
What's yours?
Mine is Sunny with the chance of pain.
Yes.
Yep. I like it. I got a
genius,
award.
Sunny. Genius.
Yeah. I got an award, True to the Derby Name award.
Well, I'm sure you make your people proud doing that. It's very cool. Maybe they would appreciate more of the competitive part of it.
I mean, people meaning my parents?
You're Korean people.
Oh. I don't know. Yeah, my mother's very competitive, so she likes it. Yeah.
I'm just trying to transition poorly to talking about you being Korean.
Oh, okay.
Like when it comes to Asia, East Asia, historically, the different Asian countries have gotten along really well. Is that correct?
Ooh, no. I don't think so. Asians are very racist.
Yeah, right? Oh, yeah. I'm so glad you said it. That's what I was going to say, too, is that some of the most racist people that I've ever interacted with and talked to were Asians.
Yep.
Towards other Asians.
Towards other Asians.
And blacks.
Yeah, definitely blacks. Yeah.
Koreans and blacks, not a good long history, But the Asian countries have a long, rich history of fucking hating each other, huh?
Oh, not just Korea and Japan.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, this is how ignorant I am. I thought that the first war that Japan had ever been in was World War II, But then you start to look into it, you do a little History Channel research, a little looking into it, and you're like, oh, wow, that's some brutality there.
Yeah, the World War II was like the end. End of it.
It was like Japan did some shit to Korea, right? Like,
yeah, and
all throughout.
Not just Korea, but China and just the Pacific. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep.
But it's like Asians have a really good publicist or something because they don't get a lot of shit as much as evil white man Round Eye for being racist, and it's like. But I'm just glad that you can vouch for this, and I'm not a prick.
It's racist, and not only just within Korea, they're just judgmental because it's like it's a small country and it's too small and too competitive that they don't really accept or embrace the difference. In Korea, when you go there, everybody wears same thing, and you have to like the same music. If you're a little off, then there's something wrong with you. So in Korea, it's like if you're not in the norm, then they just start judging or start like saying that there's something wrong with them. So I have heard a lot of Koreans kind of criticizing Americans being racist, but I have seen Koreans who are judgmental towards other like outliers of Korean society. So yeah, I think it's not really a racism, but it's more like they're just judgmental. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Towards difference. Minority kind.
Yeah, I've totally noticed that.
Yeah.
Well, in all fairness, I'm going to reveal to you like a Latin secret.
Okay.
Which is a kind of a secret song that we Latinos were taught as children that reveals some of our deep-seated racism towards Asians. Okay.
Oh.
And you could tell me if you've ever heard this song.
Okay.
Excuse me. It goes, Chino, japonés, come caca y no me des.
What does that mean?
It's like Chinese person, Japanese. Eat, poop, and don't give me any.
Okay, it's fine.
Come
'cause it's-
caca y
yeah.
no me des. Don't give me any. And
I'm
it's just
Korean,
because it
yeah.
rhymes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were lucky you escaped.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're talking about Chinese and Japanese, so I have no problem with that. Yeah.
And that's a song that we would do as kids, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
In where? In America?
In Canoga Park, California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do they still sing?
I don't know. I mean, I've taught it.
Does Ruben?
Yeah, I've taught it to my nephews and my nieces, of course, because it's
Ruben.
tradition. But yeah, I have to teach it to them soon.
Okay.
But I was like, I tripped out and I was like, well, that must have been like my mom that taught me that, you know, or somebody, one of my uncles, you know.
But people didn't think about the lyrics that much, the kids.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, Sonny, one of the major things about when you were growing up as a teenager is you were born again Christian, right?
Yes.
And that happened because you moved to your uncle's house at 14 and he was really religious?
Yes.
I feel bad. Like, I know a lot of your stories, so I'll just tell it, you know.
Yeah. Oh.
So what what variety of Christianity was it that he was down with?
So he was Presbyterian.
Okay.
Yeah, Christian, but very conservative. And our church was very conservative. He didn't convince me. It was like he made me go to church.
Okay.
But at some point, I accepted it.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was voluntary decision to become a Christian. But yeah, our church was really strict. We don't celebrate Halloween. I was scared when someone rings the bell, because it's like a devil's work. So we will go to Hallelujah night, but we weren't allowed to listen to music, not even contemporary Christian music.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because of the beat, huh?
Yeah, if there's fun, then that's not right. No TV. I wasn't allowed to hang out with friends. I wasn't allowed to talk on the phone. So it was just like a hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were your parents this strict? Because then wouldn't you be upset that you then leave your house to come to this strange place and then the person that you're living with is like kind of a prick?
So when I was growing up, it was more like I had a mission. As a Korean, I come to America and I felt like I was a representative of Korea. I was very like a nationalist at the time. So I came here to study, so it's not about like having fun. So my uncle, when I told him I'm a teenager and I would like to explore American culture, then he says, if you want to have fun, just go back to Korea. Oh. Then it chopped me up because I knew that my mission was to study and make my parents proud and make my country proud. So I knew my parents paid so much money and sacrificed so much. So I just had to eat it. Yeah. So I was just lonely and just kind of didn't have anything. And when I went to school, during recess, everybody had to go outside for 10 minutes. And I was just too ashamed to stand by myself because I had no friends because I couldn't speak English. So I would just go to restroom and just stay there. So I felt like I was pathetic and I look at the mirror and I'm like, Sonny, what are you doing here? And I'm like, God, why am I here? So I just had conversations with me. Sometimes I bring God, or sometimes I have the things, I kind of repeat the things that I heard from church to comfort me. And that's how I started getting into Christianity. So
because you did start to feel the comfort.
Yeah, I did feel the comfort.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's how I became Christian.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It definitely makes total sense for me why people will sometimes, in the situations such as that, will become Christian.
Yep.
And then you went full gung-ho, yeah?
I was...
For several years.
For many years, until I went to college. And even first half of the first year of college, I would only wear a t-shirt that says Jesus loves you.
Yes.
Yeah. And I went to... I hate biology and I hate chemistry, but I was biochem major because I wanted to go to medical school to be a missionary.
No way.
Yeah, so I was very serious about it.
Oh, interesting. Was the church that you were going to, did they teach you biblical literalism and young earth creation and
no, but I
the
went
apocalypse or anything like that?
No, but I went to a Christian church which was very conservative. So it was everywhere it says pro-life. And even masturbation, they said it was a sin.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So did you sin?
No. I didn't even know what that was. And I thought like, yeah, I just didn't know anything about those. Yeah, so I was
About
like,
your vagina?
yeah, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about men's.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just, yeah. Even like the feeling of liking someone. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, so you would have that feeling and then you would try to check yourself, yeah?
Yeah,
It's
so-
the lust of the flesh. And the church was in Korean, yeah?
Church was all Korean.
Yeah.
In Korean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we had.
Did it have the
Korean
van, one of those vans with the Korean writing on the side? Yes, really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Sometimes I drove.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was very actively participating.
It gave you something to do.
Yeah,
And so throughout your teenage years, like as a Christian, you never masturbated.
no, I didn't even know the word masturbation.
Uh-huh. What is it in Korean?
Okay, 자위 행위. So weird. I mean I just didn't understand like the concept of it, but then I knew that's something bad because we talked about it at the Bible study and at school, and that it's a sin. Yeah.
And you would even go out and evangelize to people, right?
Yeah.
Like where would you go?
So, I mean, for me, I saw the sufferings in life, including myself, right? So it's like, if you're not, even though you're not happy here and you know that this is a limited time, but when you go to heaven, that's eternity. So if I see someone who's not happy, I want to go there and say, you may not be happy in this life, but you can have happiness, eternal happiness. So usually after church, on Sundays, I will go to a park and I will just like randomly choose people and say, do you believe in God? You know, if you don't, then, you know, you cannot go to heaven. I mean, you're going to go to hell.
You were on fire for the Lord.
Yeah. I literally, people used to say, sun is on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very passionately into it. And it wasn't about me, like, it's not like, oh, for me to get glory or whatever, but I genuinely wanted people to have the chance to be happy eternally.
Oh, well, bless your little heart, Sonny.
thank
He's
you.
a very caring person.
Thank you.
But then you went to college.
Yeah. I mean, I was super sheltered. That's the problem with Korean people.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I was like,
Warn them. Give the warning.
yeah, like
In Korean. Can you say? No.
it's really hard for me to like turn
To switch?
yeah,
really?
yeah,
Oh,
it's really hard. Yeah, so my uncle, when you have a person like that for like 4 years and you are like off to a college all on your own, like I just had no idea how people were. Yeah, so
So how did it go? Did you start drinking and
yeah.
masturbating all over the place or what?
I met these Korean people and I knew they were bad because they're not Christians. So I remember like writing emails behind like these girls, like I met these bad people to my Christian friend. I don't know what to do. And then they were like, hey, and it's like, who are these bad people? So they didn't know that I was referring to them.
Oh, they saw
Yeah.
your email.
Yeah, while I was writing.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were like, "Are we bad people?" And I was like, "Oh no, you're not." And then, so I thought, if you're not Christian, you're bad. Like we say, secular friends. So I didn't have secular friends in high school. So when I went to college, I drank a lot, and then I felt really depressed because I know it's like prohibited, right, in a conservative Christian church. So yeah, I was really depressed, and I started doubting a lot of things. And then I met like all kinds of people, like hippie people, other religious people, and there were so many genuine people who were sincere to their beliefs and principles. And at some point, I just couldn't say that what I believe is the truth. And then that's when I started doubting the Christianity and my belief.
That's why Christian parents hate sending their kids to college.
Yeah. But they have to get over it at one point.
But it was more so like the interactions with other people, the other secular people that started to really have an impact on you. Huh?
Yeah. And I always had like this doubt about God.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
And you were still drinking. You were getting drunk, yeah?
But during this one discipleship training, we weren't allowed to date. We weren't allowed to drink or like, all the bad stuff. We weren't allowed to do any of those.
Well, yeah, it's discipleship training. And you went to discipleship training?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't able to do anything. So I wasn't really drinking. I was dating because it was an exception. Everybody, we weren't allowed to date, but this guy that I was dating, he was suicidal. So he would like call me and he said he'll kill himself.
Yeah.
And he's like, can you tell my parents where I died? So he would like call me like that.
No way.
Yeah, and he would call like some of the church people. Yeah, so my minister told me to be in relationship with him. Yeah, so I was the only person who was in relationship.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's a good pickup line, man. Wow.
Yep.
Did you like him?
No.
Wow. And then, so do you remember the age when you actually started to shed this to where you're like, I'm not a Christian anymore? Is that's where you are now, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think it was, so I was depressed the whole time because I always had to have a purpose of life. So when I was growing up, it was my parents. I had to make them proud. I had to be a proud Korean, you know? And then when I become a Christian, it was like, so the purpose of Christianity is to glorify God, right? So it was my goal. And then when I was losing that faith, I was losing the purpose of life. So it's when I was going through like depression, and I was like, what am I doing here? And then I thought of ants that they just live and they just do what they're programmed to do, which is just go somewhere and work, right? And then they die if somebody step on them. And when they die and life goes on. There's nothing after that, and it's perfectly fine that they died, and it's perfectly fine that life still goes on. And if I die, life would still go on, and it will be okay. So when I accepted the fact, that's when I was freed from the pressure to have purpose of life and pressure to have some kind of religion. And I was freed after that.
Yeah, no way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now you're all good with the idea that once you die, nothing happens and the world just goes on without you.
Yeah, that's fine. I never really worried about eternal life. You know, it's like when you look at thermodynamics, like there's nothing.
When you look at thermodynamics.
I mean, nothing's lost in this world, right? In
Okay.
terms of energy. Only thing I can do is the people around me or the situations that I can change. And I'll try my best to be influential and try to be good. But that's all I can do. And I'm fine with that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Explain to someone who might not know, how successful have Christian missionaries been in the last couple decades in Korea?
It's crazy. Seriously. So very.
They're super stoked on the Korea success pattern, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they converted pretty much all of them.
You think so?
Yeah. Not all of them, because my family's still Buddhist.
It's huge, right?
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Okay, so before we actually get to you being in North Korea, I do have to ask, like, when did you first finally have sex then?
Oh, okay. So.
And did you feel really guilty about it?
No, it's really sad because
Wow, is that good, huh?
No, it's not even good. It's really sad because I probably won't tell my sisters to listen to this. So the masturbation part. My school friend, my Christian school, this girl who went to UCLA and dated a black guy, Korean girl.
Ooh.
Yeah. But she was always a little different. And then she came and I saw her after I went to Davis. And then she's like, masturbation is healthy for you.
Oh,
And then she's like, have you done it? I said, no. And she's like, I'll show you how to do it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then like, so she showed
Talk
me.
slower.
She showed me in her car.
Okay. What kind of car was this? I mean, how did she show you?
So she would like tell me, so she didn't like come or
She didn't do it.
She didn't do it, but she was showing me the motion and all that stuff.
No way.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was like confused. I was like, I didn't know that girls can do that. I thought masturbation was for men because that's what the school talked about, right? So that was like the first time that I talked about sex openly with friends. And then like I had a boyfriend, but my first boyfriend was when I was in when I was second year, sophomore in college. And then I told him that, like, I will not have sex with you. I will have sex only after I get married. And then he said, okay, maybe we can have oral sex. And I said, I'd rather do regular sex than oral sex. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even know that people do that. Seriously. And then there was a guy that I liked. And he kind of liked me. But then when I finally said, okay, I like you, he kind of like said whatever. So I got mad. So I had sex with somebody else.
Oh, nah, just to make him jealous?
No, just because I was mad. Can you believe that? All these years, I waited.
With just some random guy?
A friend.
Like, so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Yeah.
Because girls are crazy.
Yeah. And I was like, all these years.
Yeah.
I went through this like hassle and all that stuff, and then this is how I lost it. Yeah.
That's great. Everybody has that terrible story of how they
Yeah.
lost their virginity, you know?
Yeah.
That's funny. Was it enjoyable?
No.
No.
Because this guy, it was first time for him too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He didn't even know how to use condom.
Nah. That's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
You're awesome, Sonny. Okay, so now we can go to North Korea.
Okay.
Because you went for work, right? You can you explain to us what year it was, and then like
it was-
when and how you went to North Korea?
So if I were married in 2012, that's the year that I went to North Korea. So I saw an announcement that there's an opportunity to go to a university in North Korea to teach statistics. So they can have better system, scientific system to for like agriculture, education, and things like that.
To make nuclear weapons and
Yeah.
bombs.
Yeah, so I like all my students were like engineers, like nuclear engineers. Yeah. So I went to Pyongyang University of Science and Technology. So actually the school was built and supported by Christian communities in Korea and like the Koreans in the world, around the world.
Oh.
Yeah, so they have English-speaking professors from Europe, like all around the Europe and America. And this was like a summer program. So I went there to teach statistics to students who were actually a group of the kids of elite.
And you guys had handlers, yeah, that would
Yeah, the monitors.
escort you places, but they would show you parts of the city and
Yeah.
take you out and stuff like that?
Yep, but we are only allowed to see what they show us, and then we cannot take picture while we are driving. And they have rights to delete, anything.
And do you see a lot of the poverty and people like on the streets and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Like-
the poverty, because I saw kids getting water from like a gutter, and they were like feeding each other. They were like 4-year-old kids, and they were like feeding each other the water, like dirty water. So I've seen that, but
Not that we don't have our own poverty here, like we have plenty of it here, but it's also kind of like at the same time, it's like they have a sense of poverty that like we don't know, like it's big.
here poverty, at least in America, there's a better welfare than other countries. Other countries, when you're poor, you don't have food. Here, there's like food bank. If you're really poor, if you don't have anything, you can go there. There's that. In place like that, there's nothing. Even this monitor who was my age, he's like, he went to Cuba. So he's doing well. He's a well-off guy. But he only had one kid. I said, oh, do you want to have another one? He said, when there was nobody, he said, when there's no food for my own mouth, how can I have another kid? So he would like tell me that, when there was nobody.
Yeah, because I mean, I know in the 90s they had like a severe famine, and they kind of bounced back from that a little bit, but it's still pretty bad. But
I saw some kids who look like third graders, and they're junior high school kids.
oh wow,
So there's definitely a malnutrition issue. They're like really small. Yeah.
and you got to go to the demilitarized zone, yeah?
Yep.
How was that? And you got to be on the North Korean side of it, which is super novel, Not a lot of people get to be on that side of it.
Yeah, it was really interesting. What we learned in America, in South Korea, is that, Korea was under Japanese occupation until 1945. And when USA entered the World War II in 1941, and then when they bombed Japan, that's when it was freed. So what we know is that World War II was ended with American, like by America, right? That's what we know. Right? When I went to North Korea, there was like a monument for Russia for ending World War II and freeing Korea. So I thought it was really interesting that they had a totally different history. So when I came back, at the time I was working for a gaming company and we had a Russian programmer. And I told him like, this was so crazy. And I told him that. And he's like, well, depends on who you ask. That's not completely a false history. Because Russia entered and they kind of stopped the Nazis.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting. And when you go to DMZ, they say that America invaded first. And then there's a place that they signed the treaty. And they said they signed they surrendered here. So it was that America surrendered.
Oh, no way.
In their history.
At the DMZ?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So it was really interesting how they were like saying that. And it just, when I was there, it made me think about like, is all the history I know is really the truth? Yeah.
And it depends on who wrote it.
Yeah.
And but what else? What are the other reasons that North Korea hates the U.S. so much?
So North Koreans told me that it's USA's interest to have South Korea. So they started the war and they hold it. And that's why our country is divided. So if the America
were to leave,
then they will be united. So they hate America. Even when we were in like DMZ, they say they're super nice to all the Americans who are there as a visitor, foreigners, and they were like, "Oh, welcome! We welcome you, and we'll show our history." And they're like, in our face, they say, "We hate America, and we'll kill every single one of Americans."
No way, really?
Yeah, and they're like, "This way, please." Yeah. And we are like, oh, okay.
Come on into this room where there's like the yellow line that goes across the room that
like,
is
please
the border.
Watch your step. Don't fall. And they're like, we'll kill every single one of you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so there is that room, right, where there's a line that crosses around the middle of a room, in the middle of a table, and every once in a while they'll sit down from across from each other in this room where that is the border, yeah?
Yeah, so you alternate. So South Korean visitors can enter that room, and then while they're in the room, they can go around.
Oh, okay.
So they can step on the land
the
of
other
North
side.
Korea. Yeah, but then when the time comes
expires,
up, then the North Korean visitors can go in. So I was there and I was like, running around, sitting where they signed. Yeah. And then like one foot on like this side and the other foot on the other side. Yeah.
Oh, cool. You got to do that?
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah.
That's a trip. Yeah. And then also, what is creepy though about what I think must give the North Koreans like something to point at where they say like, you see the U.S. Being in control of South Korea, where like at the DMZ, there are North Korean soldiers standing on one side of this line. And then on the other side, there's South Korean soldiers. And behind the South Korean soldiers are American Marines watching the South Korean soldiers. Yeah. That's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah. And the North Korean and South Koreans, they're stationary. They don't move at all. And they're looking at each other.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's American soldier. They walk back and forth behind the South Korean soldier. And when you look at it, and then you hear this North Korean soldier telling me that North and South want to unite, but Americans don't want that.
Oh, interesting.
And then when you look at it, it's like, it looks like it. So it looks like we're under, or South Koreans are under American control. And that's what they're told. And when you look at it, it looks like it.
Interesting, yeah.
But then like, I wasn't supposed to say that, but when I was in North Korea, when the students were saying, as soon as America leaves South Korea, we'll be reunited. So when they said that, I said, we have two totally different political systems. How do you think we'll be together? And then they just didn't know what to say. Because we don't worship, they worship these people. It's like a cult. It's a really conservative, narrow-minded cult that's driven by fear. That's what North America is. So
Wait. North America?
I mean, I'm sorry, North Korea.
Maybe you could
Yeah.
apply it. I don't know.
Yeah, so North Korea is so. And I
also
wanted,
the concern for South Korea for like if they were to be united, there would be a flood of North Koreans coming south, right? Like
yeah, but I
that's
don't.
a concern for South Korea.
Yeah, like my generation, we still had military training. We still had like song that we sang to hate North Koreans. We had like this.
Oh, no,
It was very sensitive, the issue, and we try to be reunited. But then, like my brother's age, who's like 16 years old, like younger, they don't care because South Korea is just it's like its own country, and they don't really. They've never seen it. They've never talked about it. So it's like. Why do we have to help these poor people? That's their understanding and their stand right now.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So when I see on the news about how North Korea is this like a dictatorship where the people are, it's all propaganda and the people are being brainwashed and that it's very cult-like, I don't know what to base that on, like whether to accept that, yes, as true, or to have some kind of skepticism, or to be like, oh, it's total bullshit. But like, I mean, from what you kind of see and from what you know, like, is that pretty much accurate?
It's very accurate. It's like worse. In the morning, like there was one American teacher who's like, oh, there's a chanting. It sounds so peaceful. And I was like listening, and it's like, Father, Father. And to him, it was like chanting. And I was like, are you kidding me? They were saying it's a brainwashing time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have all those loudspeakers
Yeah.
all around the city.
All around the city, you just cannot escape.
Uh-huh.
They will live to serve the great leaders. Like they'll dedicate like body and soul. So everywhere you go, there's like speakers, and when you go to the street in Pyongyang, like you see more soldiers than regular people. And I mean everything, and it's like the priority of their country is to make their great leaders happy. So it's just everything's about their great leaders. If you have a newspaper, or if you happen to have a newspaper, if you see on it and it happens to have the leader's face, then you get in trouble.
Right, yeah.
So it's like they're like gods.
They are considered very much so,
it's not a
deity.
Yeah, they're not. It's not a communist country. It's a cult. It's not even a socialist. It's nothing like that. It's just a pure cult. And I know a few months ago they had an open, like public executions of like about 50 people, and because they either had Bible pornography or South Korean, like. Entertainment, like
a soap opera or something.
Yeah, yeah. You're not allowed to have any of those. Yeah, it's just a fucked up country. Yeah.
I personally, I forget that people are suffering so much under, the new guy Kim Jong-un, great leader. That I love him. I think he's hilarious. But it's because I forget. I don't think about how much suffering he's causing. But. I love that he just looks like a chubby little fat kid, and that we don't know how old he is.
Yeah.
I love that he wears that same gray
Yeah, that's
suit.
a worker's clothes.
But the pants are really baggy, and they go baggy all the way down, like it almost covers like the tips of his toes.
Yeah.
It's funny. And then also how when all that footage of him walking around different factories and stuff, and like pointing at stuff and examining things. And when he's surrounded by the military guys and their military uniforms, they look like the wardrobe from a high school play or something. It's hard to picture him as like an evil dictator because he's just so comical looking. But do you think it's for real when his dad died and everybody was in mass standing in front of his statues and they were all weeping? Like what percentage of that? Plus or minus, like you could tell me as a statistician, like your guesstimate of what like percentage of them do you think were like sincere,
So it's like really, it's hard to quantify it because like, like some people are born into Christian family.
Cult.
Yeah. And then they believe in it. So these people, if they were born into this cult family, then they may be serious. So I'm not really sure. It's just really weird. It's a really, I mean, like, and then like this person who graduated, one of my monitors was, he graduated from Kim Il-sung University, and his major was world literature. He had read lots of like books from all over the world. So you would think that he would know, right? And he said, North Korea is best. It's the best country in the world, economically, military wise, everything. Their great leaders have established and it's best in the world. And like right now, economically they're suffering a little bit, and our students would bring it up. So they truly believe. They believe that. And then I went to this. It's a museum that has all these gifts that the leaders got from all over the world. And the guide was saying, North Koreans don't need to go anywhere because our great leaders are so great that all these world leaders send these gifts, and we can see the whole world here in our country. And they said Bill Graham's, there was like a gift from Bill Graham, the Christian pastor.
Oh, Billy Graham. Yeah,
Billy Graham.
Okay.
And then the guy said, oh, he's a really great man. He's a really great man. He's the man of God. The guy said. And then he would not bow to other gods. But even Billy Graham, when he came to North Korea, he bowed to Kim Il-sung, the great leader. Great leader is the only person that Billy Graham bowed to. That's what he said.
That's a source of pride for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way that Billy Graham would have bowed to your fucking leader.
They're also kind of convinced, or at least being convinced by their government, that the U.S. is going to attack them at any moment. Isn't that right? I'd heard that.
Yeah, they said that U.S. is always threatening. So they don't know that the North Korea has been threatening because they are only told what they're supposed to hear. Yeah. So it's always like the America that's trying something. Yeah. If the U.S. Military retrieve, then there could be potentially a war. So that was the impression that I got when I talked to these people.
Between North and South Korea.
Yeah. I mean, North Korea will definitely go down. Yeah.
Oh, militarily even, you think?
Yeah, because that's all they know how to do, right? Yeah. And that's why I wanted the students to know that if they want to be united, there has to be a peaceful way. Because they were like, oh, we're going to be all together. I said, how? How are we going to be all together? Because we have two different systems. And I wanted them to think about that.
Well, that's super interesting that you got to go over there and just communicate with a couple individuals even, and maybe you taught them something that will, benefit them or their families, or maybe they will learn something to become a high-ranking official in North Korea and be able to take over South Korea, Who knows?
I mean,
maybe you taught them an algorithm to be able to hack into
Sony?
into Sony.
Maybe
that was you.
Yeah. But these kids are the children of the leaders in North Korea. And I wanted so they're gonna be the leaders. And I wanted them to know, like, they tell me, like, when I gave them, the macadamia chocolate, they said, oh, our government said that you'll die if you eat like too many chocolates. These are like a super skinny kids.
No shit.
Yeah, they said only pilots eat it in our country because they need extra energy. Yeah. So they just believe what the government says. So in my statistics class, I said, people may claim something, but you need to defend it, and you need to know by applying a scientific experiment.
Yeah.
And these statistics will tell you. So you cannot just believe what someone says. So I was just like trying to do my part.
Plant the seed.
Yeah.
Skepticism. Yeah. Evidence.
Yeah, evidence. Based on evidence.
That's great. You got to bring me some treats from North Korea. When you came back, you had all kinds of like goodies and stuff. And I got to drink soju.
Soju, beer.
I got to drink beer and soju from North Korea.
Yeah, garlic soju.
Yeah,
It was disgusting. It was pretty disgusting.
Yes, but it packed a buzz, and I got to drink something cool from North Korea thanks to you, Sonny. So I thank you.
You're welcome.
I gave you a husband, and
Yeah.
you brought me some garlic soju
Yeah.
from North Korea. Thank
Yep.
you. Yeah. Right on, Sonny. Well, thanks so much. We can wrap it up. Thanks so much for sharing your story.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I really appreciate how open and honest you are about everything. And you have anything else you want to say goodbye besides fuck you, North Korea? You have anything not racist to say, perhaps?
Fuck you, North Korean government. You know, I have a hard time saying it because my mom and my dad told me that I'm monitored by South, North, and America.
Yeah.
So
If we're monitored. Hello. Hi, Kim Jong-un. I don't agree with anything this girl has said.
Yeah,
Say that in Korean. Can you translate for me? You can't switch back and forth.
No, but I feel more comfortable saying it because
Nobody's
they don't
listening to this. You know, I'll be stoked if I get a couple downloads actually from North Korea. That'd be fucking sweet. So thank you. Thank you so much, Sonny. Such a pleasure. That was that, you guys. Now you got to hear pretty cool perspective from an everyday person with a not so everyday story, huh? And that was another episode of the Intelligently Resigned show. Thanks so much, you guys, for the click. I really do appreciate it. And so till next time, I guess just go and try and enjoy the rest of your freaking lives, you animals. I will talk at you later. See ya.
you cannot go to heaven. You're gonna go to hell.